Tonight, price drop.
What happens on Wednesdays affects the price of the pumps on Fridays.
A Friday where filling up is catching up with another wild war-related swing in energy prices. Autopsy on a homicide victim. New testimony about the death of a man whose elderly widow stands accused of murder. Also, a family determined to find closure.
All that time of not having any closure, that's the big thing, is that she hasn't been found.
The quest to keep Mary Hammond's story alive in tonight's installment of Unsolved 519. Good evening. Some relief for drivers today as gas prices plunged overnight. It's a direct response to the ceasefire in the Middle East. Still, drivers say the brief break is far from enough. CTV's Krista Simpson is here now with more on this tonight. Krista.
Tony, gas prices dropped about 12 cents a litre overnight, and diesel went down even more, about 28 cents a litre. And experts say these prices will probably stay there for the next few days.
Normally, before the price went up, it would be like 40, 50 bucks to fill it.
Now, filling this vehicle's tank is closer to $80, even as gas prices dropped several cents overnight. Stations in Waterloo Region offering regular fuel for $1.70 a litre or even less on Friday afternoon. Still, it brings little relief.
It's not coming down enough. It's hard on businesses, especially for delivery companies, cost of food. Everything gets transported one way or another.
The lower gas price is a direct result of the temporary ceasefire in the Middle East announced Tuesday night.
It had everything to do with the cessation of hostilities.
Dan McTegg says that gave the markets what he calls some breathing space and provided some hope that the conflict could end.
It's one of the reasons we saw oil drop 18 bucks a barrel in one day, Wednesday, which of course means what happens on Wednesdays affects the price of the pumps on Fridays.
As for how long these lower prices could last,
gas prices are okay today. I mean, better, and they're going to stay okay tomorrow. They might go up a penny or so on Sunday and remain there until Wednesday. This is probably as good as it gets.
Not much comfort for drivers.
Don't even look at it, really. Just gotta keep pumping it to get to work.
Feeling the toll and bracing for prices to remain elevated for some time still.
Definitely needed to come down. This is pretty hard. You know, you have to give up other things in order to keep going with what you have to do.
Dan McTagg's suggestion to drivers is to wait until after 6 o'clock to fill up, as stations sometimes drop their prices even more then. He says that strategy can save a good amount of money in the long run, and I think many drivers would agree that every little bit helps right now. Tony.
Yeah, it sure does. That's for sure. Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson live with the latest on gas prices. All right, time for a first look at the weather. We go on the road tonight to link up with Ashley Bacon, who's over at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. Ash, what a night. It is game one, round two of the OHL playoffs. The Sioux Greyhounds in town. I just imagine the energy in that building is unbelievable right now.
Tony, you have no idea. The doors have just opened and fans, as you can see behind me, are just arriving. The building is really feeling electric now as we get ready for puck drop just after 7 p.m. Of course, we're taking on the Sioux Greyhounds and Brady Martin, a local Elmira boy here, and we will speak with him a little later in the show. But right now, take a look at all these happy faces behind me. It's going to be a really fun night here at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. But of course, we've got to get to some weather as well, because there's a lot happening outside as well as inside. So let's take a quick look at our satellite radar, and we'll just go through what is happening here. So we're seeing a little bit of precipitation still lingering throughout the region. Most of that heavy rainfall has already moved on and will continue to be pushed through. Now, by midnight, we should essentially be in the clear from the rain that we felt today. However, we are expecting some more wet stuff come Sunday. So the really big news here is get out tomorrow while the weather is beautiful. We're looking at a very strong day tomorrow. As As we take a look at what's happening right now in Waterloo Region, 7 degrees is very nice and comfortable for this time of day. West by northwest wind at 6 kilometers an hour. Not too windy out there, so feeling very much like that 7 degrees. As we look at what's happening temperature-wise around the region right now, also very comfortable. 10 degrees in Windsor, 7 for London, as well as Toronto. Hamilton, 5 degrees. Goderich at 3, as well as Sarnia. So conditions are still quite nice outside. Now that the rain has tapered off, more and more folks are coming indoors here, though, for the start of the game, which is just around the corner, Tony. And as I mentioned, lots of happy and excited faces here, especially, you know, as the doors have now opened, we're seeing a lot of fans come through, and it is going to be a really fun night to kick off Game 1, Round 2.
Yeah, it's going to be go time soon. Okay, Ash, thank you. We're going to check in with you throughout the hour. Ashley Bacon over at The Odd. After a one-day pause, the murder trial of Elfgard Outrud resumed today in Brantford with testimony about the death of her husband, Gordon. This after a juror was dismissed over what the judge called unforeseen circumstances. With more, here's CTV's Jeff Pickle at the courthouse.
Justice Aubrey Hillier did not go into detail, but said juror number 8 had been dismissed and the trial would continue with 11 jurors. With that delay out of the way, the Crown brought up the forensic pathologist who explained the autopsy, injuries, and cause of death. In their opening statements, the Crown laid out how they believe then 79-year-old Elfgard Outrud attacked her husband, 82-year-old Gordon Outrud, with a hammer. The Crown alleges Elfgard's gambling addiction played a major role in the incident. Today, forensic pathologist Dr. Malia Kara was on the stand to speak of Gordon's injuries and the cause of death. The jury was shown a series of pictures from the autopsy. Dr. Kara says Gordon received wounds to his hands, arms, shoulders, head, and face. She categorized all but one injury as recent and caused by blunt trauma. Dr. Kara ruled the cause of death was an injury to the back of Gordon's head that fractured the skull and exposed bone fragments. When asked about the amount of force it takes to break a bone with blunt trauma, she said it takes a lot of force to break them. The skull is very tough. It takes a significant amount of force. When it comes to the injuries to Gordon's arms and hand, Dr. Kara described them as likely being defensive wounds. On cross-examination, Elfgard's defense lawyer, Namrata Sandhu, called into question some of the details of the autopsy. She asked if Dr. Carr could give the exact time of death, which the doctor said the best they can do is a general time. She also established the autopsy could not determine what caused the blunt trauma or the sequence of events. For the wounds on Gordon's arms and hands, Dr. Carr said they are likely defensive wounds, but could not rule out they came from a fall. Next up was a OPP blood spatter expert who went through a detailed explanation of the different types of blood evidence before going through a series of crime scene photos that shows blood from the kitchen into the mudroom and then the garage. The trial is expected to resume on Monday. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Kitchener.
Police in Hamilton have charged 5 people in connection with the murder of a 16-year-old boy. Investigators say the killing is related to the tow truck industry. CTV's Janice Golding has more.
Well, after a year-long investigation, Hamilton police say they have arrested a number of people in relation to the murder of a York Regional teenager who they say died in a battle between tow truck operators. 5 men from 20 to 42 are now facing first-degree murder charges in relation to the shooting death of a 16-year-old boy.
He was a son, a young person with a future ahead of him.
A 16-year-old that Hamilton police say was shot to death in a skirmish between rival tow truck companies following a several-kilometer car chase from a tow truck yard near Queenston Road and Highway 8 in Stony Creek.
Provincial Tow was a victim of we'll call it an arson a few days before. I believe they were there to protect their property. Faison was there, and he was chased all the way to Fruitland Road.
Hamilton police won't say what Faison Awan was doing at the now defunct provincial tow truck yard, but say that around 4:20 a.m. on March 6, 2025, the teen became involved in a pursuit.
There was at least 5 vehicles involved.
The stolen red SUV Awan was driving ended up colliding with one of those vehicles, and then an unknown number of people opened fire.
This was a targeted attack involving multiple individuals and multiple firearms. I can tell you that we recovered 3 different calibers of firearms.
Awan was killed. Another person in his car also shot, with a third person uninjured. The men responsible, well, after executing 5 search warrants in Ottawa and Hamilton this week, police have charged 26-year-old Mohammed Aburas, 22-year-old Amir Nabout, his brother, 20-year-old Amin Nabout, 42-year-old Rami Kassem, and 36-year-old Sari Nawabit, with first-degree murder and attempted murder. Police say the Nabouts owned Provincial Tow. The others were employees.
We believe there's other suspects involved, either at the scene or after the fact.
Hamilton police will not release the name of the other tow truck company, but reiterate that Provincial Tow no longer exists. The homicide investigation continues.
And that report from CTV's Janice Golding in Hamilton. We are now less than 2 hours away from a momentous event that'll be watched by millions of people here in Southern Ontario and all around the world. Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and his fellow Artemis II astronauts are scheduled to splash down off the coast of California at 8:07 p.m. our time, the final act of an incredible accomplishment. CTV's Joy Malvin reports.
With a wake-up song, now the riskiest part of this historic moon mission, re-entering Earth's atmosphere. It's the trickiest part of their ride home. Just ask the pilot, Victor Glover.
We have to get back, and riding a fireball through the atmosphere is profound as well.
To ride that fireball, a special coating on the bottom of the Orion capsule, protecting the astronauts from extreme heat. The last uncrewed mission didn't go so well, but NASA is confident Orion's modified heat shield and a new angle of re-entry will get them home safe.
Then they'll start to brush into the upper atmosphere, and it'll suddenly get heavier and heavier and heavier as they're being pushed from below.
The Artemis crew has traveled deeper into space than any other humans, giving us striking new celestial images of the moon and planet Earth. Reflecting on it all, Canada's Jeremy Hansen.
We live on a fragile planet in the vacuum in the void of space. Our purpose on the planet as humans is to find joy, to find the joy in lifting each other up by creating solutions together instead of destroying.
There were unforgettable moments. A moon crater named after Commander Reed Weissman's late wife.
It's a bright spot on the moon, and we would like to call it Carol.
Talking to the Prime Minister.
The Canadians are so proud of what you're doing.
The U.S. President.
Congratulations to everybody. I'll see you at the Oval Office.
Fixing a lunar loo.
We definitely have to fix some of the plumbing.
And chasing a floating Nutella jar.
Integrity systems are in good shape.
As they prepare to come back home.
I just want to look at my daughters, Ellie and Katie, and just say I love you.
Family and the world waits. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Teacher layoffs at Waterloo Region's public and Catholic school boards. Just ahead, what the boards and the teachers' unions are telling us about cuts that are coming in September.
Well, it's a rainy day out there today. What better way to spend a Friday night than here at the Odd to catch a little OHL playoff action? Kitchener Rangers take on the Sioux Greyhounds. Puck drop happening in around a half an hour or so, but more weather and more from here coming up shortly. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
Provincial police say one person's dead after crashing an e-scooter early today in Ingersoll. They're issuing a warning to other riders, noting the increase in scooter and e-bike popularity. CTV's Lauren Stallone reports.
E-bikes and e-scooters have become a popular new way to get around communities across Ontario.
Something to do, good for your knees and joints, being out and about, and good cheap transportation as well, especially with gas prices.
And while convenient, OPP warned they've seen an increase in electric rideable accidents, most recently in Ingersoll.
On Friday, April 10th, just shortly after 1:30 this morning,
The Oxford OPP, along with fire and paramedic services, responded to Charles Street East in the town of Ingersoll for a report of a single scooter-styled e-bike that was involved in a crash.
OPP say a 56-year-old male was operating the e-bike when he left the road, struck a pole, and suffered serious life-threatening injuries.
That person was transported to a hospital for treatment, and I'm sad to say that person was pronounced deceased by attending physicians.
A 2025 report from the Canadian Institute for Health Information showed a 32% increase in reported e-scooter hospitalizations over 1 year. OPP say while micro-mobility devices like e-scooters and e-bikes are appealing, they can be deadly without proper safety measures.
If you can, wear some good reflective clothing, obviously a helmet.
Matt Long, owner of eRide London, says his products are equipped with built-in safety features designed to reduce risks.
They all have a brake light, so when you hit, you're just like a car, a brake light, and they have a running light in the back as well for the dark. They have reflective parts on the pedals.
Long says paying attention to when and where you are riding can make all the difference when it comes to safety.
In the daytime, it's a little safer, but you know, if you can stay on the bike paths, that's a good thing.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Almost 130 teachers across Waterloo Region's public and Catholic school boards are being laid off. The Waterloo Region District School Board says 97 teachers are being declared surplus effective September, while the union representing Catholic elementary teachers says 30 teachers will be affected at the Catholic Board. The boards and teachers' unions are linking the cuts to declining enrollment and the amount of provincial funding that boards are getting. Union leaders say they're getting concerned about the impact on the classroom.
Our main concern is possible increase to class size. With that many less teachers, larger class sizes from our association's perspective always are correlated with not being able to necessarily do the one-on-one support that is so desperately needed in the schools for student learning.
The public board says some of the affected teachers may be retained in occasional positions until permanent positions are once again available. Meanwhile, the province is introducing legislation to reduce the length of time prospective teachers are in school. CTV's Siobhan Morris has more on those proposed changes.
What is media?
Ontario's teacher crunch is tightening, with more educators leaving and waves of increased immigration in recent years. So the government's making changes designed to get more teachers into classrooms and faster.
We would shorten teacher education from 2 years and 4 semesters to 1 year, delivered in 3 consecutive semesters.
The province also wants new teaching candidates to get more than the 80 days of practical experience they do now.
So that they're in front of the class and they know what to expect when they get there, so that they can manage a classroom.
There will be higher pay for mentor teachers who take on novices, and looking at ways to add people who already have experience with kids.
For example, those with early childhood education backgrounds or those with work youth experience. By recognizing prior learning, we're attracting the best and the brightest to join the teaching profession.
This only opens the front door, and right now teachers are walking out the back.
The Ontario Teachers Federation estimates 48,000 registered teachers are choosing not to work in the sector. Many leave the profession within 5 years.
We know the reasons they're not in the classroom is because of the working conditions, which are directly related to the learning conditions of the students that are in front of us.
Conditions that education union leaders call unsustainable.
We're talking about larger class sizes, unmet student needs in terms of supports that just aren't there.
And violence between students and against teachers. The Minister of Education believes more practicum time will help with that.
The ministry will also be looking at its program, the new teacher induction program, and looking at how we can better support new teachers as well.
All of these measures are part of a bill that will be tabled on Monday. Also in there, the long-awaited changes to school board governance, including whether or not trustees are sticking around. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
As Ontario's post-secondary sector copes with an ongoing financial crunch, 2 Eastern Ontario colleges have announced plans to merge. Fleming College and St. Lawrence College say they've begun a formal process to integrate as equal partners under a single management team. The 2 schools say together they hope to create a stronger institution with greater scale, broader access for students to programs and services, and improved long-term financial stability. Well, here's a live look from our tower camera now toward Waterloo. It's certainly been a cloudy day today, at times very, very rainy. And there is some hope, though, that we're going to see some sunshine this weekend. Depends on when you have things planned, of course. Ashley's back from the odd in just a couple of moments with our weekend forecast. And later, from 2 cities to 12, the Nashville Takeover has Stratford going country this weekend. We'll have a sneak peek. And next, part 2 of Hannah Schmidt's series Unsolved 519 as the family of Mary Hammond works to keep her story alive. More than 40 years after the Brantford woman walked to work, never to be seen again. Ashley's back over at the odd. It's game 1 tonight, round 2, Kitchener Rangers, Sioux Greyhounds. And, you know, I can just imagine the excitement, Ash, because, of course, it was a sweep of round 1. So I imagine energy's pretty good right now in Ranger fan land.
Oh, man, there's a lot of people coming in real happy tonight, Tony. And, of course, puck drop is just around the corner. I think I said a half an hour a couple of minutes ago, but it's really a half an hour from now. I was getting a little too excited earlier. Now, the great news is, obviously, this is game 1, round 2, so looking to go deep into the playoffs. Now, I caught up with Brady Martin, a member of the Sioux Greyhounds, a little earlier tonight to hit his input on what this round will look like. Of course, Brady is a local here from Elmira and a draft pick from the Nashville Predators. Let's take a listen to what him and some of his fellow teammates had to say about round 2. Okay, we're joined by the competition right now. Brady Martin, some of the members of the Sioux Greyhounds. Gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. Tell me a little bit about your anticipation going into round 2.
Yeah, definitely had a good first round for us, and we're looking forward to playing against Kitchener tonight, and yeah, hopefully have a good series.
Now, of course, you're from the area. What does it mean to play in a sort of a secondary home barn?
Yeah, we got a lot. I had a lot of family tonight. We have a bunch of my buddies here. They'll have a lot of family as well, so it's going to be definitely electric for us.
What are you looking forward to the most for this round?
Just looking forward to getting started here and playing our game here.
I'm looking forward to just beating Kitchener. Let's get this done.
And of course, the last round went 5 games. What are your expectations for this coming one?
I think it's going to be a fun, hot series, and I think it might go long, but we'll see what happens.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
There we go. Great to hear from Brady and a few of the Sioux members. But of course, you know, we're cheering on the Kitchener Rangers here at the auditorium tonight. And we got to get into what's looking like a beautiful night to be indoors for hockey. A little bit of rain as we look to our future cast. That's going to continue for the next few hours. But as we get into Saturday overnight and early morning, it is going to be nice and clear. Clouds moving through by the morning. And by noon on Saturday, essentially, we'll have clear skies. Let's take a look at temperatures around the region right now. It's still sitting very comfortable, around 7 degrees for Kitchener, Waterloo, 10 in Windsor, 8 down in Ridgetown, and 3 in Goderich. So around southwestern Ontario, temperatures really seasonal right now and should be in that range. So we're sitting on a perfect spring night, a little rainy, but as I keep saying, April showers certainly bring May flowers. So it should be a very flowery May this year. As we look to overnight conditions, -3 is the expected low with cloud cover, a northwest wind with 20 kilometers an hour gusts, so not too windy out there. It shouldn't feel too much cooler than that -3. Tomorrow, however, really going to be the highlight day of the weekend. 10 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, mostly sunny conditions. A high UV index is also anticipated, so if you are spending some time outside, make sure you have some sunscreen on and a hat, some sun protection. As we turn to our almanac. It really paints a picture of really what spring can be. It can be really cold and it can get really hot. Back in 1945, the record day for 27.2 was set. In 2016, minus 8.5. So there's really a big range of where we can be for temperature. As we look to our 7-day forecast for Waterloo Region, we are looking at rain returning for Sunday with 7-degree high, 7 overnight low, so we're not dipping anywhere overnight. Monday, 21 degrees, 18 degrees on Tuesday and Wednesday. As we get into Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar conditions there, but you know, we are looking at 23 degrees for both Sunday and Monday, and on Tuesday 20. Southern Georgian Bay similar as well, but a little bit cooler for your Saturday, just a high of 3 degrees. At least the sun will be out. Rain returning for Sunday, a high of 11, and 17 for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And Tony, look who has just joined me here, Rex, live in person for the start of round 2, game 1. Rex, thumbs up. How's tonight gonna go? Go Rangers, go. Tony, we're going to have lots more here from the Odd coming up a little later in the show.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Ash. We'll see you a little later. Tonight, the next installment in our series, Unsolved 519, revisiting some families who are still waiting for answers about missing or murdered loved ones. It's been more than 4 decades since Mary Hammond vanished on her regular early morning walk to work in Brantford. Now, a suspect was identified in her presumed abduction and killing, but by that time he was dead and she was never found. CTV's Hannah Schmidt is back now with the second part of this story. And Hannah, now that we've sort of established what's known in this case, what does Mary's family have to say all these years later?
Tony, I connected with Mary's family late last year. They tell me the piece that still matters most to them is that Mary has never been found. A tree and a plaque now stand as a quiet tribute to Mary Hammond in Brantford's Mohawk Park, a place her family returns to remember who she was beyond the headlines.
She was an amazing aunt to have when we were growing up. I had 2 sisters with me, and she used to come over and play with us all the time.
Mary's niece says her aunt was fun-loving, creative, and strong.
She was really tough and really confident, strong person, and just beautiful inside and out.
But the day she disappeared, while on a routine walk to her early morning shift at work,
I remember being really upset at how close she was to work. She was so close, like it was just within a block.
Changed everything.
I just remember telling my friends and all of them seeing it on the news, and I said, "Did you see the news last night? That was my aunt that disappeared." And it was very surreal.
For decades, they've held on to hope while grappling with uncertainty.
Mary's disappearance left their rooms shaken with more questions than answers.
Over the years, investigators followed thousands of tips, preserving evidence that would later prove critical when a suspect was identified.
Through the historical evidence seized and with the advancements in mitochondrial DNA analysis, we have identified Stephen Mudko as the individual believed to be responsible.
But the suspect was already dead, and it still wasn't clear what happened to Mary. Brantford police say the case is still active, and while there have been no new developments this year, they believe someone still has information about Mary's disappearance, information that her family is still waiting for.
All that time of not having any closure, that's the big thing, is that she hasn't been found, and that's what we want to happen through keeping her memory alive.
And that's exactly what Brenda Wilson intends to do.
I actually wrote a song about it 2 years ago on International Women's Day. I just took out a piece of paper and I just started writing, and it just came right out of me, and I called it Never Walk Alone. And I'm still working on it. It would definitely be good to get it out there.
Wilson says her song, along with Mary's tree and plaque in Mohawk Park, serve as a reminder that even after decades, this case is not over and that bringing Mary home remains the priority. Tony.
Hannah, thank you. CTV's Hannah Schmidt. And Hannah will have many more installments of this series in the weeks and months to come as we bring you more of those unsolved stories. Well, how was a Canadian man allowed to be married to several women at the same time? Just ahead, the second part of John Woodward's W5 investigation into a marriage license fiasco.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Canadian bank executives and other regulators met today to discuss a powerful new AI model and the risk it poses to Canadian cybersecurity. In fact, that AI model is so powerful, it's not even being released to the public. CTV's Heather Wright has details.
Energy grids, hospitals, banks. These are just some of the infrastructure experts say could easily be exploited by Cloud Mythos, a new AI model called Dangerous by the company that created it.
This is the kind of thing that should keep us up at night.
This week, Anthropic announced its latest AI model, one so powerful, the company says, that it can find vulnerabilities in virtually every major operating system and web browser, using relatively simple prompts. Anthropic says, given the rate of AI progress, it will not be long before such capabilities proliferate, potentially beyond actors who are committed to deploying them safely. The fallout for economies, public safety, and national security could be severe.
It's like using ChatGPT to be a hacker. And so, unfortunately, what that does is it means that our existing defenses are no longer sufficient.
While Anthropic is not releasing Cloud Mythos to the public, it is giving it to a select group of tech companies, part of what it's calling Project Glasswing, an initiative to help identify critical software vulnerabilities. While some have called Mythos AI doomsday, others caution Anthropic's announcement could be a savvy marketing strategy in the competitive race for AI dominance.
Many people would be right in saying that this is a little bit of hype, a little bit of press release.
Still, cybersecurity expert Claudio Popa says it's only a matter of time until Mythos or a different AI model with similar power becomes widely available.
We certainly need to acknowledge the capability of the tool, and we need to start preparing for such a time when there will be lots of AIs scouring the internet looking for vulnerabilities.
Experts say this announcement should serve as a wake-up call to organizations and governments to beef up their cybersecurity. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
All right, recapping our top stories now. Krista Simpson in studio with the details. Bit of relief for drivers today. Another big swing in gas prices, this time down.
Tony, gas prices dropped about 12 cents overnight, down to $1.70 a litre on average in Waterloo Region. And diesel is also down about 28 cents a litre. Experts say these prices will probably stay in place for a few days. The lower gas prices, a direct result of the temporary ceasefire in the Middle East that was announced Tuesday night. After a day-long pause, the murder trial of Elfgard Outred resumed today. It's now being heard by 11 jurors after one was dismissed due to what the judge called unforeseen circumstances. The trial will continue with those 11 jurors, and today court heard from a forensic pathologist and a blood spatter expert. The trial is expected to resume on Monday.
And Krista, online tonight, a local swim club making a big splash and marking a big anniversary.
Well, Tony, the Region of Waterloo Swim Club is celebrating 50 years in the community. The swim club has a storied history. It was the home of Olympians Victor Davis and Mike West in the 1980s, and it's grown a lot in the last few years after numbers went down significantly during the COVID-19 pandemic. So for more on their past and their hopes for the future, scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app, or to download the app right now, or you can visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Okay, Krista Simpson with our top stories. Thank you, Krista. A W5 investigation has been looking into the case of a man who was able to marry several women at the same time. Now, CTV's John Woodward looks at how those marriages were approved and why the man's story was so hard to track.
So this is the dress.
Yep, the infamous dress.
This dress is all that a woman we're calling Emma kept of her marriage with Jason Washington.
It's like kind of like a fairy tale that got lost.
A fairy tale that began with the mixed martial arts fighter turning on the charm and proposing almost right away.
He was super funny, and it was just like he was attentive. Like he said all the right things. Like he knew I was vulnerable. Every time that something goes wrong, it goes to the extreme, and I understand it's like love bombing or gaslighting.
She says he spanked her son and she left. She didn't know it then, but BC court records show Washington had pleaded guilty to an uttering threats charge in another relationship. Just one of several convictions for him, including assault, and he would later do time for manslaughter, killing another driver while drunk driving. Washington would go on to marry 4 women in a row over a decade and never divorce any of them.
When you married him, you had no idea that he was already married.
Absolutely no idea. I was shocked that there's other women.
Each wife surprised that the BC government approved their marriage license applications without a hitch.
Marrying more than one person at once is a criminal offense in Canada. It's called bigamy. But in most jurisdictions, checking the marriage history of your potential spouse can be harder than you'd think.
In most of Canada, there are 3 boxes you check on a marriage application.
You have to declare if you've been divorced, widowed, or you're single. And you rely on that to say, oh, well, they can proceed with the marriage license.
Family lawyer Sophie Bartholomew says it's a crime to make a false declaration. But
there's no further investigation done, as far as I'm aware, into whether they actually have been married before.
it turns out the only place a marriage officiant is responsible for checking if a declaration is true is Quebec. Everywhere else, the couple's claims are not checked, and a marriage license can still sail through, even if one spouse isn't telling the truth. That's something family lawyer Marcus Sixta says should be easy to fix.
What obligation does the provincial government have to make sure a license it issues isn't a bigamist marriage?
I think that it should be relatively easy for the provincial government to be able to do a search within its own database to discover whether or not somebody has been married multiple times. And if they had the ability to do that, they should probably be notifying the people who are involved.
BC's Minister of Citizen Services that oversees marriages doesn't see a problem with the current setup.
What is the point of a marriage license if no one's going to check on it? What are we paying for?
Well, I mean, it's indictable. It's a criminal offense, indictable with prison sentence. So that's a pretty heavy deterrent.
Washington told us he didn't do anything wrong.
That was the woman's job. That was my soon-to-be wife's job to do all that.
Emma says she wishes someone had flagged her marriage license.
You wish you'd been able to make an informed decision.
100%. You know, I wouldn't have married him. I wouldn't have done any of these things.
And maybe she could have used this dress in a wedding with someone that might have worked out. John Woodward, CTV News.
Music City touches down in the Festival City. Just ahead, the Nashville Takeover takes over Stratford. A city that's been in the theater spotlight for decades is going country this weekend. Stratford is one of 12 communities hosting the Nashville Takeover, a growing series of shows bringing surprise headliners to intimate local venues. CTV's Karis Mapp has a preview.
Just look at the front door.
Singer-songwriter Timothy Miles with a sneak peek of what you'll hear across Stratford this weekend as the second annual Nashville Takeover brings a taste of Music City to the Festival City.
We take over towns all across Canada and turn them into Nashville, basically. So we take over multiple intimate venues all across town, breweries, wineries, little bars, little dive bars.
We got a lot of artists having a grand old time again.
Last year, Collingwood and Port Stanley played host as multiple artists got up close and personal for fans. This year, Stratford is one of a dozen Canadian communities being taken over thanks to its big response to a social media campaign.
We launched like a nationwide Facebook campaign so people get to nominate their town. So they DM us, they comment on the post. It's just such a vibrant community, lots of arts, lots of support for the arts.
There's going to be some really great artists, up-and-coming artists, and I think there's going to be some great special performances.
Grayson Mills is one of 8 Stratford venues hosting the already sold-out performances.
We're doing some fun food like taco bars and some street meat and different things like that as well, too, just to kind of play up that whole Nashville vibe and the theme.
And there's a big twist. People attending the shows still don't know who they'll be seeing.
All the lineups are secret. We recreate that experience of walking into a random songwriter bar in Nashville and discovering these artists that you had never heard before.
Turn off the TV.
This year, Timothy Miles, the only artist revealed so far.
The thing about Nashville is that it's a collaborative spirit when you're down there, and you get to see that here in this festival, especially at the late night jams, where everybody's coming together and collaborating as one unit.
Excited about a chance to switch up the set list and connect with the audience.
The more you can be down to earth with people, the more you can look them in the eyes and apply the stories that you're singing about to them, the better connections you're going to have.
Kara Smapp, CTV News, Stratford.
Sounds like it's going to be a great Friday night in Stratford, and I know somewhere else where it's going to be a fun Friday night, and that is over at the Odd, where we find Ashley Bacon.
You know it, Tony. I mean, it's been raining outside all day. Hopefully, the rain happens in the back of the net here a little later. Puck drop in about 10 minutes at the Kitchener Auditorium. Of course, we are looking at a nice, beautiful Saturday tomorrow. How nice is it going to get, and what it'll look like first thing in the morning? Those details coming up after this break. Stay with us.
Start your night off with E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory. Then Children Ruin Everything at 8, followed by Happy's Place, Celebrity Jeopardy All-Stars at 9, and cap your night off with Boston Blue at 10.
Tonight, the daring and dangerous splashdown.
The wonder of it, the amazement of it.
First-hand accounts of the flaming hot high speeds and recovery. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, let's check in once more with CTV's Krista Simpson for a look ahead at what we'll have tonight at 11:30. Krista.
Well, Tony, we have, of course, been talking a lot about the Rangers this hour, but they are not the only Southwestern Ontario OHL team in action tonight. The Brantford Bulldogs face off against the North Bay Battalion at TD Civic Centre in Game 2 of their second round series. Now, the Bulldogs bombarded the Battalion in Game 1. They won 8-1, so we'll be watching that tonight. We'll also be watching as the astronauts from the Artemis II mission return to Earth. They anticipate splashing down on the Pacific Ocean in a little more than an hour. We'll see you at 11:30. Tony.
All right, lots on the go. Krista, thank you so much. And lots on the go back at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. It looks like Ashley Bacon may have some Rangers fans ready to go right now as she brings us our wake-up weather and a preview of the game, Ash.
You got it, Tony. And I know we're going to get to these guys in just a second. But first, I know our viewers at home are going to want to know what they're waking up to first thing in the morning. So let's go right to our wake-up weather board. It's going to be a sunny, cool start to tomorrow. But great news is by around noon, we're going to start to see some double-digit temperatures. Around 10 degrees is the expected daytime high with sunny conditions. So overall, not too bad. But back here at the Odd, I am joined with some super fans and Rex, of course. Now, I want to know, guys, what do the Rangers have to do to get a W on the board tonight?
Stay out of the penalty box and good goaltending.
There you go. Good goaltending, stay out of the penalty box, and importantly, what do we have to say? Go Rangers! Woo! So game 1 starting in just a couple of minutes. Puck drop just a few minutes away. Very exciting here. Of course, lots of people still very much streaming in here. It's going to be a great game. Any advice for the team?
Play hard. Defense always wins.
Play hard, defense always win. There you have it, Tony. We've just got to get a big W on the board to start off the series right.
Ash, very much. And by the way, before we let you go, Ash, I love that little trip into visiting team territory that you took us on there. The whole Brady Martin connection, the Sioux Greyhounds. I love I love that you brought us the local angle from the visiting side too.
Look, although he's part of the competition, he is a local guy, and we've got to celebrate when our local guys make it to the big time. So, you know, having Brady on earlier, thank you for your time, Brady, and the boys from the Sioux, for sure.
That's right. We don't want to wish them too much luck, but we do want to thank them for being part of our broadcast
That's
tonight.
It. Go Rangers, go.
Go Rangers, go. That's right. We are making our loyalties clear. Ash, thank you so much. Have a great weekend and enjoy the game. Everyone who is down there at the Odd tonight. Game 1. Kitchener Rangers and Sioux Greyhounds. Of course, we'll have all of that for you, the highlights from it tonight at 11:30. But from all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. As always, have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here once again on Monday at 6. Good night.